Hey fragrance lovers, welcome back to the channel. I'm Jesse. If you're new here, this is your go-to spot for honest fragrance reviews that cut through all the marketing fluff and give you the real deal. So here's the challenge I set for myself this week. I'm diving headfirst into the world of summer scents to find the freshest fragrances that I'll be completely obsessed with. And let me tell you, after testing dozens of bottles and probably confusing every sales associate within a 50-mile radius, I've narrowed it down to 3 absolute game changers. But before we jump in, if you're as obsessed with finding your perfect summer signature as I am, make sure you hit that subscribe button because we're about to go on a sensory journey that might just change your entire fragrance game. Now, I know what you're thinking, Jesse. It's another summer fragrance video. Haven't we seen this before? But here's the thing. I'm not just going to tell you these smell good and call it a day. I'm going to share exactly what happened when I wore each of these for a full week, including that embarrassing moment when I thought I smelled like expensive vegetables. Yes, that's a real story, and yes, I'll tell you all about it. We're talking about 3 completely different approaches to summer freshness. One that's basically vacation in a bottle, one that made a stranger follow me through Target just to ask what I was wearing, and one that's so realistic I felt like I needed to check if I was actually on a boat. Alright, let's start with the one everyone knows but maybe hasn't really understood, Dolce & Gabbana Light Blue. This brand, created by Olivier Cresp, launched back in 2001 and is still selling like crazy more than 20 years later. Now, the first time I smelled this was actually at my friend Mike's place. I was using his bathroom and saw this gorgeous light blue bottle sitting on his counter. Being the curious fragrance guy I am, I had to give it a try. One spray and I literally froze. It was like someone had bottled up the essence of diving into the Mediterranean Sea while eating a fresh lemon. The opening is this massive blast of Sicilian lemon that's so bright and zesty, it practically smacks you in the face, in the best possible way. There's this crisp apple note that makes your mouth water, and then cedar comes in to keep everything grounded. It's like the perfect balance between fruity and fresh. But here's where it gets interesting. About 30 minutes in, these beautiful white flowers start blooming on your skin. We're talking jasmine and white rose, but they're not your grandmother's church lady florals. They're soft, modern, almost ethereal. And that bamboo note, it adds this green, almost spa-like quality that makes you feel instantly relaxed. Now, let's talk performance, because this is where things get real. Light blue has what I like to call beautiful but flighty syndrome. The first hour is absolutely gorgeous. People will definitely smell you coming in the best way. But then it becomes this intimate skin scent, faster than I can finish my morning coffee. I tested this for a full week last summer, and let me tell you what happened. Day 1, absolutely obsessed. Day 3, carrying a travel atomizer everywhere. Day 5, questioning my life choices because I'd already gone through a quarter of the bottle. The projection lasts about an hour, maybe 2 if you're lucky. After that, you'll need to get pretty close to someone for them to smell it. But here's the thing, sometimes that's exactly what you want. It's like wearing a secret that only you and your closest friends get to experience. And can we talk about that bottle for a second? Absolutely gorgeous. That crystalline blue color, the clean lines, it looks like frozen water, which is exactly what the fragrance smells like in the best possible way. So, who is this for? If you want something that screams, I'm on a yacht in Capri, but I'm also approachable and fun, this is your jam. Perfect for daytime summer events, beach days, or when you want to smell like the main character in a romantic comedy set on the Italian Riviera. Before we move on to our next fragrance, and trust me, it's going to blow your mind, I'm curious to know, are you team short but sweet when it comes to fragrance longevity? Or do you need something that lasts from sunrise to sunset? Drop a comment and let me know, because I have some thoughts on this whole performance debate. Okay, now we're getting weird. And I mean that in the absolute best way possible. Hermès Un Jardin sur le Nil, created by the legendary Jean-Claude Ellena in 2005, is hands down the most unique fragrance I've ever experienced. Picture this. It's a Saturday morning, I'm at the Hermès counter, feeling very fancy. And this sales associate, who clearly knows I can't afford a Birkin bag, hands me a tester strip. She says, "This one's inspired by the gardens along the Nile River." I'm expecting something floral and pretty, right? Wrong. One spray. And I literally asked her, "Are you sure this is perfume?" Because it smelled like someone had taken the most beautiful vegetables from a farmer's market, crushed them up with some river flowers, and somehow made it sophisticated. The opening notes are grapefruit and green mango, which sounds normal enough, but then you get tomato and carrot. Actual vegetables, people, but here's the magic. It doesn't smell like a salad. It smells like what summer would smell like if summer decided to go to art school and get really pretentious about organic gardening. I walked around that mall for 2 hours, constantly sniffing my wrist, trying to figure out if I was having a fragrance breakthrough or if I was just losing my mind. By the time I got to my car, I was completely obsessed. The heart brings in these gorgeous aquatic florals, lotus and peony, that smell like they're floating on actual water. There's orange that adds this sunny brightness, and then the dry down. Oh, the dry down is where this becomes truly special. Iris, incense, and a whisper of cinnamon that makes everything feel warm and mysterious. Performance-wise, this actually holds up better than you'd expect. It projects beautifully for the first couple of hours. I got more compliments wearing this than anything else in my collection. One person told me I smelled like expensive vegetables, and I've never been prouder of a fragrance choice in my life. But here's what really happened when I wore this for a week. I became that person who talks about their fragrance like it's a piece of contemporary art. I caught myself saying things like, "It's an olfactory interpretation of riverbank vegetation," with a straight face. My friends started avoiding me at parties. The bottle is absolutely stunning too. This gorgeous gradient from green to clear that looks like sunlight filtering through water. Though I have to say, the plastic cap feels a bit cheap for a Hermès product, but we'll forgive them because the juice inside is pure poetry. This is for the fragrance adventurer, the person who wants to smell like absolutely no one else. If you appreciate niche perfumery and aren't afraid of getting weird looks when people ask what you're wearing, this could be your holy grail. Now, I know some of you are probably thinking, "Jesse, vegetables in perfume? That's too weird for me." And that's totally fair. But before you write it off completely, remember that some of the most beautiful things in life are a little unexpected. Speaking of unexpected, our next fragrance takes everything you think you know about aquatic scents and throws it out the window. But first, are you more of a play it safe fragrance person, or do you like to walk on the wild side? Let me know in the comments because I have a feeling this next one is going to divide the room. Alright, last but definitely not least, Maison Margiela Replica Sailing Day from 2017. This is part of their replica collection, where each fragrance recreates a specific memory, and this one is inspired by a sailing day around the Greek island of Paros in 2001. I first encountered this during one of those trips to the mall with my girlfriend. We were in Sephora, she was looking at skincare, and I was wandering around the fragrance section like a kid in a candy store. This sales associate came over and sprayed this on a tester strip, saying, "This one's popular with guys who appreciate clean, modern scents." Challenge accepted. One whiff, and I was transported, not to some generic beach vacation with coconut sunscreen and tropical drinks, but to that very specific moment when you dive into crystal clear, cold ocean water and everything just feels perfect. The opening is this incredible aquatic accord that literally fizzes on your skin thanks to aldehydes. It's paired with coriander, which adds this fresh herbal quality, and there's a tiny hint of red pepper that gives it just enough edge to keep things interesting. What I love about the heart is how sophisticated it becomes. Juniper berries create this gin-like freshness, and yes, I did spend an entire afternoon trying to figure out if I smelled like a fancy cocktail. There's iris for elegance and a whisper of rose that keeps it from being too masculine. But the base is where the magic really happens. Red seaweed, which sounds gross but smells amazing, gives you that authentic oceanic saltiness. Plus ambergris and cedar woods that remind you of a sun-warmed boat deck. Now, here's the reality check. Replica fragrances are notorious for disappearing acts, and Sailing Day is no exception. You get about an hour of good projection, then it becomes this intimate skin scent that only you and people hugging you will smell. During my week of testing, I became the person carrying a travel atomizer everywhere. Coffee shop, reapply. After lunch, reapply. It was like having a high-maintenance friend who's absolutely perfect when they show up but never sticks around long enough. But here's the thing. When it's good, it's really, really good. I got the best reaction to this fragrance. My coworker said I smelled like I'd just taken an expensive shower. And honestly, I'm still not sure if that was a compliment, but I chose to take it as one. The packaging is gorgeous too, minimalist and clean, with this vintage photograph aesthetic that perfectly captures the memory concept. The bottle feels substantial and expensive, even though it's just clear glass. This is perfect for anyone who wants to smell expensively clean rather than sweet or heavy. It's office-friendly, sophisticated enough for business meetings, but relaxed enough for weekend brunches. Basically, if you want to evoke that I just got off a yacht, but I'm still approachable vibe, this is your scent. So, let's talk about how these three stack up against each other, because they're all fresh summer scents, but they approach it completely differently. Light Blue is like that popular friend everyone loves, easy to get along with, always welcome at any party, but might not be the most memorable person in the room. It's the safest choice, and there's absolutely nothing wrong with that. Un Jardin sur le Nil is the artsy friend who went to film school and only wears vintage clothes. Not everyone's going to get it, but the people who do will be absolutely fascinated by its uniqueness. Sailing Day is like that perfectly put together friend who always looks expensive but never tells you where they shop. It's sophisticated and polished, but maybe a little too perfect to be completely real. Performance-wise, they're all in the 4 to 6 hour range, but Hermès edges out slightly in terms of longevity and complexity. For pure summer refreshment, Light Blue wins. For uniqueness and artistic value, Un Jardin sur le Nil takes the crown. And for sophisticated cleanliness, Sailing Day is unbeatable. Price-wise, they're all in that premium category, but I'd say Light Blue offers the most bang for your buck, considering how versatile and crowd-pleasing it is. So, there you have it. 3 completely different approaches to summer freshness. And honestly, I'm obsessed with all of them for different reasons. Light Blue is for when I want to feel like the main character in a summer romance. Un Jardin sur le Nil is for when I'm feeling artistic and want to challenge people's expectations. And Sailing Day is for those days when I want to smell like I have my life together, even when I definitely don't. Now I want to hear from you. Which of these 3 caught your attention? Are you going to stick with the tried and true Light Blue, embrace your weird side with Un Jardin sur le Nil, or treat yourself to the sophisticated minimalism of Sailing Day? Please drop a comment below and let me know your thoughts. And if you've tried any of these, I want to hear about your experience. Did Light Blue disappear on you as fast as it did on me? Did Un Jardin sur le Nil make you question everything you thought you knew about fragrance? Let's start a conversation. If this video helped you discover your next summer obsession, please give it a thumbs up. It really helps the channel grow and lets me know you want more content like this. And if you're not already subscribed, what are you waiting for? Hit that subscribe button and the notification bell so you never miss a fragrance review. I've got some exciting content coming up, including a deep dive into fall transitional fragrances and a comparison of popular designer dupes versus their originals. Trust me, you don't want to miss it. Thanks for spending time with me today, fragrance family. Keep smelling amazing, and remember, life's too short for boring perfume. Until next time, smell and feel good. Stay fragrant.